What's good, YouTube? I'm Quasar.
And I'm Nova.
And we're the Chronomaly
Kings.
So today we're going to talk to you guys about the fairy typing. There are a lot of different archetypes that are fairy based. Like the brand new one is going to be the Dark Lords that just came out in the...
It's coming out.
That's right, coming out in Destiny Soldiers. They're really powerful. They're all high level dark fairy type monsters that revolve around basically sending them to the graveyard, special summoning them. There are a lot of different spell and traps too, which you actually want to be sending to the graveyard, and then with the monsters on board, their effect, you'd pay like 1,000 life points, target one of those cards in the graveyard. So that monster's effect would become the targeted card's effect. So, and then you get to shuffle that card back into the deck and just reuse it, recycle it. But you don't want to do that too many times because you're eventually going to run out of life points to pay, right? But it's still a really strong deck. I really like the artifacts too. Ever since they came out, they are all level 5 light fairies. They can all be set as back row, as like spell cards. If they were to be destroyed during your opponent's turn, you can special summon them, and then a certain effect would go off based on whatever one got destroyed, right?
Also, a current deck that's actually doing good, that's fairy based, is going to be the Cyber Angels, mixed with Herald, of course, but also you have the Herald of Perfection, that's a side deck. But you mix them together. So they're all based around, obviously, fairies. That deck is pretty much resolved around ritual summoning. So all of the Cyber Angels are pretty well ritual monsters, excluding some of them. So basically, yeah, the main focus of that deck is to drop Herald and just keep drawing and searching and searching and searching.
Has a lot of deck thinning, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Way back when, I think this was like 2012, agents were pretty new and they were very powerful. That's also when a card like Archlord Christia came out. So that was like a walking Vanity's Emptiness too. If you had 4 fairies in your graveyard, you could special summon it from your hand. Neither player could special summon. And it was a 2800 beat stick too. So if you couldn't special summon, there's no way you're going to be able to get over that. And people would just scoop because there was nothing that they could do. They would literally have to try and find a dark hole. That was like their one out, basically.
True. Another specific card, not specific just for it. Manju, it's a ritual searcher, and it's also fairy.
That's right.
So they add some... again, search power. Another deck, though, well, let's see. Oh, another deck, well, mostly people use it as an engine, but Star Seraphs are also all fairy types, light fairy, to add it to it. So there's a lot of different things you could pull off with them. Star Seraphs were pretty much, if you have Scepter and Sovereignty in hand, you can make any 3K. Basically, Sovereignty makes it so you can only use him as an Xyz material for a 3 material Xyz monster. And it's basically, you summon Scepter, Scepter searches Sovereignty, Sovereignty, because it was normal special summons, Sovereignty summons itself. And then because you did, you get to draw a card, and if it was another Star Seraph monster, you get to special summon it. So pretty broken. So most people play 3 Scepter, 3 Sovereignty, so that when they have Sovereignty and Scepter in hand, you summon Scepter, search Sovereignty, special summon both of them, draw 2 cards, you go minus nothing, and then you make Xyz summon. And of course, Scepter's effect, when he's used as an Xyz material for a monster with 3 materials, he gets to pop 1 card in the field, and then if you do, you get to draw again. So, yeah, pretty broken. You see where it's going.
It's a really awesome engine to use because you're always maintaining hand advantage, even though you're using 3 monsters as Xyz materials rather than just 2. But yeah, that's always a great engine to use. But Honest is just pure light support, but it is a fairy as well. Mm-hmm. It's now at 2. Yes, it is searchable too, so that's also really broken.
Very nice.
It's always sweet to be able to search out your hand traps, right? Mm-hmm. But anyways, Honest basically if one of your light monsters goes into battle, you can basically pitch Honest, and then it gains the attack of the monster it's battling.
That's true. So very good. Also, a fairy support, we got Vahala, which is, I don't think I said that right.
Yeah.
But anyway, it is the continuous spell card for fairy types that reads once per turn. If you control no monsters, you can special summon one fairy from your hand. That is actually pretty good.
Yeah, it is.
Because it's like, it's pretty much just I want fucking Christia for one for nothing. So pretty good. Also, like Celestial Transforming is special summon one from your hand, so pretty good.
There's also Counter Fairies, which is a really strong deck too. The more recent support would be Guiding Ariande, which is the Pendulum monster for that deck. But they do have a lot of other monsters that revolve around, searching your counter traps and activating effects when you do activate counter traps.
Yeah.
And because you're playing so many counter traps, it stops your opponent from playing, and then you just get your monster's effects because you were activating counter traps. So that's always really good. It's a really solid stun deck. People still play it every now and then. I mean, it's not meta, but it can still do pretty well because it stops your opponents. Yeah.
Fairies overall are pretty well diverse. I mean,
yeah, they have a lot of good support, which is good to see.
And they have, I mean, depending on what you're playing, they have a good amount of search potential because, I mean, if you're playing Cyber Angels, Ben 10 searches, all these different like Manju searches, all these different things searches. If you're playing Dark Lords, you got the Dark Lord Altar, which searches. The Dark Lords, which is searching, but it's not there is no fairy support card that searches just fairies.
Yeah, there's no like fairy Rhoda,
but I mean, even agents, they have Earth, which is I think it's Earth. One of those when Earth. It's summoned, it lets you add an agent from your deck to hand. So again, a search. So fairies have a lot of search power, and just in general, as well as they have a lot of easy special summons.
Mm-hmm.
So fairies got a lot of support when it comes to what they have. They're very well.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of variety. Typing.
A lot of variety for them. Another notable card that's a fairy type, number 16, Shockmaster.
It's banned though.
It's banned, but like it just goes to show like that card was like crazy
broken
good
because it literally stopped a game mechanic.
Yeah, it's like your opponent goes, you detach, you say spells or something. That means they can only set and play monsters.
They couldn't even set their pendulum scales too, right?
Yeah, like what are you gonna do with that? Like, I mean, okay, if you're playing like, if you pull that off in a deck and you play that against any of the meta decks right now, like Blue Eyes, okay, all they have is their monsters. Okay, they're fucked.
Yeah.
You pull out against Cyber Angels, they can't play because no spells, no ritual summons. They can't play Yu-Gi-Oh. They can, well, I guess they can Scepter you, or Star Seraph you, but if they don't open those two, they can't play. And literally, if you make 2 Shockmasters in one turn, you take away monster effects and specials and spell cards. Like you can't. They
can't do anything.
They can't play Yu-Gi-Oh. Just in general, that was pretty broken.
Yeah, so, that card was really dirty.
So, remember to like, comment, subscribe, and leave in the comment section below what type you guys want us to see. If we don't get any, then we'll just
come with our own. Anyways, we'll see you guys next time.